Crazy how that works, right? Like you think you're doing yourself a favor. You think you're doing everyone a favor. Like, not like I'm gonna fit in. So this has to work. Like the people are gonna adore me. It is not guaranteed that throwing away your personality is going to get you where you want to be. You actually might just be miserable where you end up. Okay. Hi everyone. I felt like that was really fake, so I just stopped myself from doing that again. I'm back to chit chat again. I'll drop a little bit of knowledge, maybe an experience, an idea, if you will. Um, the idea of acceptance, wanting to be accepted, this idea of meshing in with the crowd and going unseen and feeling and being what everyone else around you is. I've always wanted that. Not anymore, but in a past tense sense, I've always wanted this idea to fit in. I've always wanted this sense of, you know, I am just like everyone else and it's cool. Picture like a whole friend group. Like, I don't know what it was. Maybe like all the TV shows I used to watch as a kid. You just see like a group of friends somehow meshing together all in one, and everyone was involved as much as the other, and they all felt it. They all felt wanted. Like like their friends wanted them there. I only ever had this I had this thought like recently about where that idea could have came from. This like vigorous need to be accepted, like to be wanted. So much so that I've like from a really young age just abandoned everything that I liked. I tried to learn what other people were liking at the time, like what was popular. Oh dear God, high school was so sick. I would try and learn what it was to be cool, or like what other people that are like around me are talking about, so that I can enjoy like join in the conversation. Girl. And I did that for a very long time. Like I just couldn't figure people out. I just wanted to not stick out like a sore thumb. So, this whole video is kind of like that idea of acceptance. It reduces you as an individual. So, very early on, I realized that I enjoyed being on stage. I think my earliest memory of doing anything in front of like an audience was a little fashion show at my after school program. And they had like put me in cultural clothes and I had to like walk the runway. It was really cute and I think about that a lot. That was like my first introduction to like being in, I want to say the arts, but I like singing, drama, whatever. I enjoy that personally. I just never did it in a like fixed setting. I'm reading from my iPad about this. It was something about being in front of a crowd and the lights that I found exhilarating, but as a kid, you're very quickly exposed to other people's expectations of you, and without hesitation, they let you know things you can do and you can't do. I vividly remember the director of my after school program lecturing me about my character. She had let me know I don't always need to be involved. So I suddenly realized to be in people's good graces, I relinquished that part of myself to fit in like a puzzle piece. So I buried that girl that loved to perform and to be on stage very deep inside myself, especially because I was so young when I realized that passion. And it was such a tiny realization that what it really needed was water and compassion so that it could grow. But not only was I met with expectations, I was also conditioned to believe I had to follow those expectations so that I could be wanted by the people around me. So here I am, 21 years later. That math is off. I meant to really say, like, here I am at 21 years old. And I realized being wanted isn't my number one priority anymore. I now have to backtrack and find out what it is I wanted all along and who I am so deep down to my core that even if I was surrounded by people, I could still shine that bright. and it wouldn't deter the people around me, or at least I would not be bothered to shake my foundation to keep these people close. But this is a really funny memory. It's not. Actually, it's quite devastating to hear that. I was like no older than 10 to be hearing, I don't always need to be involved. Statements like that will have you subconsciously trying to fit yourself into every space that you find yourself in, even if that means that you need to break yourself down to do so. I know I spent quite a long time doing things like that. I mean, going into high school, middle school was not a good experience. Going into high school, I wanted to fit in so badly. I was studying what was popular, what music people liked, trying to like get the lingo so that I articulated well, so that I do not stick out like a sore thumb. There was never any hiding it. Like I always stuck out. But the idea that you're wanting to be accepted makes you invisible. It's literally an erasure of your personality. It's an erasure of who you are inside that like makes you different. I know at some point people don't want to be different, like that's all you can think about. Honestly, just this year, like 2025 in that whole year, I think I've found that I don't gain anything from making myself smaller. It's funny because you spend so much time making yourself smaller in hopes that like it keeps the people that you want around you, like keeping your current relationships as close as possible. But because you're making yourself so small, people are kind of expecting you to act a certain way. So if you're out of line for any particular reason, it's almost like the sky is falling. Suddenly, those relationships you're trying so hard to maintain are shifting. They're like, you're acting different. Like, you're moving funny. So, who's benefiting from this false character that you've been performing all your life? The the people in the room that still are not acknowledging you, even though you sacrifice so much. You don't listen to your favorite music. You don't dress how you want to. You don't dress how you want to dress. You do your hair like everyone else. You make sure that you know the latest tea and information that you need to navigate your conversations. Um, you are just not yourself. You're a fraud. I'm gonna put it plainly like that because it took a very long time to even straight up say like I was being a fraud. I've been surviving. I don't even want to say a fraud because a fraud is like you're doing it intentionally, but all of these things to break down your character so that you could fit in is only a survival tactic. You're only doing it because you feel as though you have to, because the worst will happen if you don't do it. So I think last year, mm, I can't put a timeline on when I started to feel not invisible. Like I started to camouflage myself less. Ooh. And I can't really put a timeline on it, but there's very significant events that will get you there. A lot of people will probably phrase it as like, when will I start being confident and when will you start liking yourself? All in due time, but you do need to give yourself, you need to foster an environment that allows you to take small steps. Whether that means like you need to reassess your past memories and you're like, is like, are these memories something that I enjoy reminiscing about? No? Well, we need to get to the bottom of them, reassess, really think about what it is about XYZ memory that I don't like. And is there something that I can change? So be it. Go ahead and make that change. Deep memory for me. But to put it plainly, I tried to get a friend at the time to recognize how they wronged me, and it was a really like old memory, so it wasn't even significant to them, but I would think about it a lot because I'm still friends with this person. So I'm like, they did this, and I'm like, it wasn't a good feeling to be told what I was told, but I mustered up the courage one day and kind of asked, like, what was all of that about? And they just straight up told me they didn't like me at that point in time. And you know what time that was? That was when I was trying to conform and fit in. Crazy how that works, right? Like you think you're doing yourself a favor. You think you're doing everyone a favor. Like, not like I'm gonna fit in. So this has to work. Like the people are gonna adore me. It is not guaranteed that throwing away your personality is going to get you where you want to be. You actually might just be miserable where you end up. I know I was. I know I was, but I probably wouldn't have admitted that at the time. But being told that, I just kind of couldn't let that go. So, you know, later down the line, I realized I'm like, being told that and still hang out with that person, it's not conducive to who I want to be. I'm worth more than that. I'm worth being loved, and I'm worth having friends that cherish me. So, obviously, like, I move on from that. The idea of wanting acceptance, to be accepted, to be welcomed with open arms and be like, you know what, we love you, even though you are an imposter, you're faking, is not a real concept, no matter how much we try to cope. Anyway, it was last year that I realized I don't gain anything from the conformity that I've tried to sell myself. This lie that I tried to sell myself, like, oh yeah, no, people are gonna love this. Like, watch me pretend I'm someone that I'm not. People are gonna love this. Um, I don't know. Like, I guess I was more focused on where I wanted to go in life than where I currently was. And I think when you change your perspective like that, the idea of wanting to be accepted is kind of wiped from the forefront of your mind, because it's almost like I won't be here for long. So why try and force myself to be accepted here? Especially if you're having trouble. Okay, I was just making sure the mic was on. This is I feel as though it's a hard topic to speak about because I have never been one with words, and I'm making a video on this topic. It's a little crazy to share my experience and how I kind of have been making my progress in the world as a human being, and honestly being on the path. It's hard telling people, like, there's better days ahead if you're in an environment where you feel as though, like, this is it, like, these are the people that I want to like me. This is the environment that I want to accept me. I want to fit in so badly. And if you're in a place where you feel as though you need to minimize yourself, shrink yourself in any way, shape, or form, and I'm really harping on, like, maybe personality or your what you like, your ambitions, who you are to the core. There's something about you. There's something that's a part of you that really wouldn't be you if you don't have it, and you feel as though you need to cut that loose to fit in. I'm telling you right now, it will come back up, maybe later in life. So you can push it down all you want, but I feel like that will come back up. I mean, hell, it came back up for me, and you realize, damn, what am I doing all of this for? I want you guys to remember that this life is yours. So all of the, like, minimizing that you're doing, it's it's a reduction of quality of your life for you. You aren't living, really. I mean, we kind of already established it's a survival tactic, but wasted a lot of years trying to appease to who are these people? I don't know, because thinking back to it, it's like I was never really focused on myself. It's almost like this reduction of your being just to fit in with other people is just like an admission to saying I'm not worth a lot. And it's really sad. There's someone out there right now that's thinking they need to silence themselves, make themselves smaller, minimize whatever their abilities are, and they think it's going to bring a better quality of life. It's not. Really can't sum up the years of coming to this conclusion of, hey, I don't really want to conform to whatever the people around me think is like it's a good idea. You know what I mean? Your environment really does craft how you approach life. Because I kept forgetting what I was talking about in the video, I have to do this. I have to look like this and let you know this is what I meant. My point to this was I was watching a TikTok, and you have to be very mindful of who you take advice from. So the people around me, I wasn't liking their advice because I didn't want to be who they were. I didn't want to go in the direction that they were going in. Therefore, I removed myself from the situation. I need to find a way to get out of this environment, because staying in one place and you think you're gonna like thrive, you'll be able to grow from there, is not happening. The same kind of limiting beliefs, thoughts, ruminations, things that keep you trapped and stuck and anxious and overly worried. It doesn't foster a good environment for you to want to be like, this is the direction I'm going in, I'm gonna go for it. Because sometimes you really need that support, and you might not get it in the place that you've been at. Find somewhere else so that you can be yourself, so that you can be the full you, somewhere that supports you and loves you for exactly who you are. And I've realized in the last couple of months, again, lost my train of thought. I'm literally gonna, I guess what I'm really trying to say here, this idea of acceptance makes you invisible. You lose yourself. At the end of the day, you're still gonna have to find yourself, or you're gonna live an unfulfilling life. And it's like, do you want to appease to the people that you're around right now, or really go on that quest and find out what your life has in store for you? Because I know I do, and I'm thinking really big things for myself. They're so big that I can't even lead a I can't lead a false identity anymore. People that I once had in my life, I can't carry on that character that I've been performing. It's I personally we both need to break up, because I need to go and find out who I am. And here I've built a lie. I'm so sorry to you, Anthony. That was actually T. Let me write that down. It's a slow and steady race to getting comfortable with that idea of maybe the real you won't be accepted by the people that you're surrounded by now. That also means that there's new people to be that will accept you at different walks of life. You will always find new friends, family, connections. I don't think it's end all be all that where you are currently in life right now, if you change that, because you're losing these connections that you have now, the relationships that you have now, does not mean that you're unlovable. There's nothing wrong with you, for sure. That's for sure. There's nothing wrong with you. You are just in the wrong place. So it's your job to get yourself out of there. Do everything in your power to get yourself somewhere that people will cherish you. And that will take time. Hell, I'm in it by myself right now. I just love making these videos. I'm in this journey right now. So when I tell you, it's not going to be the end of the world that you don't keep the same relationships that you've once had while you're finding yourself. By all means, go and do that quest. Go on that journey. You need to for yourself. Like, it's just not fair that you give up so much of your being for other people. Are you insane? I mean, the sky is the limit. Really. It's making me excited again, because I've just been thinking about my future a lot lately. Like where I want to go and where like who I want to be. It certainly isn't applicable to where I am right now. And that's okay. I'm gonna find my way there. But I'm telling you, please don't squeeze yourself into that box anymore. You're stretching it out. I'm just kidding. Take a moment. Matter of fact, take a really good long moment. Breathe in, breathe out. I need you to like touch your shoulders, touch your face, touch your thigh, your ankle. I'm gonna need you to just like fully assess that you are a human being and you take a look around your room, maybe you're by yourself, maybe you're on a bus, a train, somewhere, somewhere out in this world. You are seeing out of your two eyes. This full vessel is yours, and you were gonna take it many places. You're gonna take it far, but you need to make that first decision to be like, actually, I'm worth taking that journey. Like, oh, I ended that so well. Thanks for watching this video.